form what we call higher lows. That shows that buyers, right, that could be the upside targets. Over the past 2 weeks, we have seen renewed strength in the Singapore stock market due to the first rate cuts finally after more than 2 years by the Federal Reserve. And also we have the Chinese government introducing some stimulus measures to boost the economy, the property, and even the stock markets. And all this has led to some strength in some of the key Singapore stocks. So what are two Singapore stocks in my watch list for October 2024 as we head into the end of the year, right? These are stocks of miners, yes, came to my watch list over the past few months, but there are some new bullish actions that have came out and we can potentially see more upside. So what are these two stocks? Well, watch this video all the way to the end if you know what these two stocks are, and more importantly, where are we right now, and is it still in time to position ourselves in these stocks for even more gains? Let's go. So the first Singapore stock I'd like to share with you will be this company called Bumi Tama Agri. So this stock has been in my watch list, I would say, since the beginning of the year. We have actually turned into what we call a very firm longer term uptrend just by looking at what we call the 100 days moving average, the red line, and even the blue line, which is the 200 days moving average. You can see that since the beginning of the year, in fact, end of last year, these two red and blue lines are sloping up, red above the blue, and it has kind of like sparked off the uptrend, right, in terms of the longer term trend. And we broke some of the key resistance level as well, something like the 0.58. Look at this, a bit of resistance here. We broke this resistance somewhere in February this year. The upside actually started all the way until like 73. We saw a little bit of profit taking and it started to move sideways from April all the way to September, about 5 to 6 months. So it was a bit boring, right? The longer term trend was up, but in the short term, it was actually consolidating sideways, I would say, below that 0.73 resistance level. Look at this, right? It was just like moving up and down, up and down, up, down, up, down, up. Pretty much, forming what we call a consolidation cap below that very key 0.73 resistance. But as it consolidated, you can see that the trend was still up in the longer term, even though the short-term trend was sideways. Just by looking at this 20 days moving average, you see this 20 days moving average line was pointing up, up, up as it broke that 0.58 resistance, up, 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 and it was like pretty much moving sideways, which is correct because the short-term trend was sideways. And while it was consolidating sideways, as I mentioned, right, we actually formed what we call higher lows. That shows that buyers, right, are starting to come out and push prices back towards that same resistance, right? So they are coming out a little bit higher. It used to be like about 63 and then 65 and then 67, right? So higher lows, that is a sign of strength. But ultimately, we need to get above that very key 0.73 resistance that we have touched and came down nearly a couple of times, came down, and over the past week, it seems like we have managed to break above that 0.73 to 0.74 resistance level. So that is where there could be more upside in terms of it being released from this sideways consolidation. I would say over the past 5 to 6 months, upside targets could be revised higher, maybe all the way towards the 80 cents, right? Towards the 80 cents. So you can see right now that the longer term trend is up, but the short term trend, as represented by the 20 days moving average line. Remember, this green line was like sideways, up a bit, sideways a bit. Right now, you can see that this 20 days moving average line, it is starting to slope up, right? Which is good, right? That's a good thing, right? As it sloped up, we broke above that 73, 74, and this would now be a support level. Let me turn it to green in color. I would say that this would be like a support level over here. All right, this resistance is turned to a support level. So as long as we stay above that, maybe 72 to maybe 73, upside targets could be revised all the way to that 80 cent, and that's where we might see a bit of profit taking. Might just consolidate a little bit, and if it breaks 80 cent, great, targets can be revised even higher. So this is what we call a bullish stock to look at. I mean, it's been on my watch list for a while. It's a pretty good uptrend, but it was kept below that 73 resistance level that has finally given way, and it looks something like what we call an ascending triangle pattern, whereby it forms, as I mentioned, higher lows, right over here, higher lows, while kept below that resistance. So an ascending triangle is something bullish as well, especially if we break that key level. We have seen selling coming back over the past few months. So that's a good thing, all right? upside targets could be revised as long as we stay above that 72 to 73. I think the uptrend looks intact. We can potentially hit even higher. So this stock, Bumitama Agri, was still shared with VIP clients of mine in Philips Securities when it kind of like attempted to break that key resistance level that I mentioned. So you have to get some of those ideas much faster by WhatsApp, live, daily, for free, right, at no additional cost. Make sure you check out this video below, alright, there's a link, click on it to find out exactly how you can become a VIP client of mine in Philips Securities, alright, that's where we have some services like top ideas, private trainings, videos as well, much faster, alright, check it out, the link is right below. Okay, let's move on to the second Singapore stock I will share with you for the last quarter of 2024, and that would be this tech company called Valuetronics, right? The code is BN2. So you can see right now we are trading at about 0.645. So before I talk about where we are right now, you can see that since last year, right, same thing, there was some bullishness in the tech sector due to impending rate cuts, right? And finally, of course, the rate cuts has happened, and you can see that Valuetronics actually broke this very key resistance level around the 50 cents. 0.50 was a very key resistance level. They were traded below since like 2022, 2023. Finally, somewhere in November last year, we broke above 50 cents, and that was where it really sparked off that reversal move in terms of the uptrend starting to play out, right? So for 50 cents, we went all the way to like 60 cents, a bit of profit taking up and down, and it started to move a little bit sideways as well. But the longer term trend, as represented by the 100 days, the red line, and the blue line, you see longer term trend was pretty much up. Right now, the longer term trend is still up. So even though the short term, right, we saw a bit of a profit taking, it sold off from like 60 cents to 55, even right over here from 65 to 58 cents. Buyers started to come back out, bargain hunted, and we push higher as well. So that's where we form what we call higher lows as well. Look at this, right? So higher lows, that's a good thing. It just shows that buyers are coming out on dips to push prices even higher, right? So why do I like this stock? Well, you can see that we were actually consolidating, right? We were actually consolidating since like July for about 3 to 4 months, and right now over the past few days, it seems like we are attempting to break this key resistance level. So that would be around that 0.64 to 0.65 level. I have my alerts set. I think we can break above that 64, 65 level firmly. We have to close above this key resistance level. That could spark off more upside, and that's where profit targets can be revised even higher. We might see a trade maybe all the way towards that 0.70 cents, or maybe even towards that 75 cents. That could be the upside targets for Valuetronics. One of the stocks that say now watch this. So you can see that the short-term trend in terms of the 20 days moving average, this green line, it was like down, down, down. We found a higher support, and right now, this 20 days moving average green line has started to slope up as we are still attempting to break the 64 to 65 cents. So I think next few days will be pretty crucial. Next week will be crucial as well. If we can, really close above that 64 to 65 firmly. We see some pretty good volume as well. That would be an added confirmation or signal whereby, we could start to see it move even higher. Targets could be raised. We are out of this sideways consolidation, I would say, over the past 3 to 4 months. So there we have it, guys. These are the 2 Singapore stocks that I'd like to share with you today, which you can potentially put in your watch list for more upside as we head into the end of 2024. So as I mentioned, there's some bullish price action that came back. We have actually shared these stocks with VIP clients of mine in Philips Securities live by WhatsApp daily, as these bullish actions were spotted. So if you want to get some of those ideas much faster by WhatsApp live daily for free and no additional cost, make sure you check out the links right below the video, especially if you are trading, you have a trading account, but you are not getting any service from your own broker, no ideas, no videos, no training, no nothing, no WhatsApp, nobody even contact you. All right, please check out the links right below. All right, and look forward to add more value to you for free. All right, so Joey here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.